Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. We're going to check out on the cryptocurrency space in this video. I was realizing that I've been trading crypto for 6.5 years, which is a bit frightening because it seems like maybe 3 years. Time flies. So checking in, we have weakness the past couple of days pulling back, and that is directly contrary to what the broader market has been doing. The past 3 days, the broader stock market has been a bit of risk on, with growth names having a big day today, but we're not seeing that reflected in the sentiment in crypto. Again, we know there's not a correlation with the NASDAQ and crypto right now, but sentiment matters. And so sentiment has taken a positive tick in stocks Friday, yesterday, and today, and we're not seeing that reflected in crypto sentiment. What I'm looking at on Bitcoin is a very clear daily tightening range and a key support that is being tested right now. We've got our high, higher low, lower high, double bottom, and here we are. Bulls defended support yesterday, but we're right back to testing it. If this support of 27.1 thousand breaks, we confirm a daily downtrend. And that would be the first baby step towards a 2-week lower high and a potential right shoulder. So again, bulls don't want to see the support break, because if it does, it will be the most developed, I should say, it will be the biggest step forward for a potential 2-week head and shoulders that we've seen since this bounce got started. Another thing that you can be looking at, aside from these price levels, a little bit of just a channel guide. So here's our clear uptrend and uptrend support and resistance. And you can see we've fit snugly within this over the last month plus. And here we are testing that support. Simple statement: if bulls cannot get over 4-hour EMA 12 resistance, we're just going to keep on keeping the daily support in play. Essentially, we have to get over, and this is a double top. We topped out yesterday, 27.8, and then double topped there. So if we cannot get over that level, again, we're just going to be hovering right over support. We must break this double top for us to say, okay, that's a successful hold of support, and we're going to keep tightening up into daily equilibrium. So as far as I'm concerned, short term, the burden is on the bulls to defend this daily support and take back over. Mid-term, the burden is on the bears to shape up a 2-week lower high for a potential 2-week head and shoulders. So another support test in line here as we speak. Dominance continues to go up. We're testing the highest levels. I believe we're already at the highest levels if you remove the stable coins. And again, all this tells us is altcoins are weaker than Bitcoin. And we certainly don't need any fancy chart to tell us that. All you got to do is pull up the altcoins and look at Bitcoin, and it's a very big difference of where they stand. But if the dominance chart is going up with a big green day yesterday, and it's a big red day on Bitcoin, or a small red day, whatever you want to call it, that tells us alts dropping harder. Crypto stocks had some strength. They were ready to go with the broader market sentiment change, but they're selling off and shifting into relative weakness because of Bitcoin. Started the morning strong on coin, breaking daily resistance, trying to get back to the highest level in the last couple of months. Riot, daily bounce, but again, profit taking from the high of the day because Bitcoin sold off. And so the potential of daily lower highs shaping up on Riot and MARA on this current bounce. Aggressive bears scouting for those daily lower highs tomorrow to potentially be set. And of course, if Bitcoin breaks 27.1 thousand, that increases the probability that these names are going to set daily lower highs. As I mentioned, the altcoin's much weaker. ETH, look at just how different this chart looks than Bitcoin. I mean, here's Bitcoin, the last week and a half, sideways tightening range, where ETH has just been a hard drop. And it's not a small drop. That's a pretty significant move. A drop of almost 12%. And a drop to get to the lowest levels that we've seen in the last month. And so here's ETH testing the lowest level we've seen in the last many, many months. Right now, this low is 1530, and that's the lowest level we've seen in 7 months. So we're on the verge of testing 7-month lows in ETH, and the only hope for the bulls is the pattern that we pointed out recently. This could be a weekly falling wedge. Again, this is not the market environment where I personally look to play falling wedges bullish, just because there's a lot of weakness overall, and I am not going to try and nail bottoms in an overall weak market. That's just where I'm at this point in time in the crypto space. But if we were to see a break with no follow through or hold of this support, we'll keep an eye on this potential falling wedge for the next few weeks. What is standing out is ETH BTC is trying to negate. We've been keeping an eye on this possible falling wedge for a long time, and the bears are trying to negate that as a possibility. And you can see, depending on how this week closes, we may be invalidating the possibility of this falling wedge. Still 5 days left to go. Daily stair-step drop. We've been weaker than Bitcoin essentially 9 days in a row. So ETH bulls backs against the wall. Even our stronger coins confirming daily downtrends. So here's Sol, daily higher low set, lower high, lower low. Zoom out to weekly consolidation, and we know we're looking for a weekly higher low compared to 1733. We'll see if the bulls are able to confirm the weekly uptrend as a result of this consolidation. We're watching the retracement size to help determine probabilities. We know that if we retrace 50% plus, the ability of the bulls to confirm a weekly uptrend will be diminished. And this pullback is not surprising us because we knew bigger picture, a 2-week equilibrium was the most likely scenario. And Link is doing the same thing. Link was a lead bull. This was a bit of a fake out. So Link was a lead bull, pull back. We know we're scouting the daily lower high as the most likely scenario. We did have, so here's an example where the most likely scenario is key because we had a 6-hour equilibrium here, just tightening range all last weekend, and it broke bull and then completely dumped. So how do you not get faked out there? By knowing that even with that bull break, we're still looking for that daily lower high to be the most likely scenario because of the size of that pullback. And so we have now confirmed the daily downtrend into weekly consolidation, and it's another one, a beauty. This is one to be watching into November. We are not surprised that the bears defended 846 resistance. We anticipated they would, and right now we can say very successful defense of that resistance. We've now pulled back about 15% from that high. And again, it wasn't just the fact that we were testing resistance, it's that we were testing resistance in a daily overbought scenario with a lot of shorter term time frames overbought as well. Daily, 4-hour, 12-hour, etc. were all overbought into that resistance. We are anticipating a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario on Link and on Sol. But again, this can easily take another, let's just say we pull back, set the higher low, bounce for a couple weeks. Next thing you know, we're in the start of November and still within this tightening range as a possibility. But again, write it down because there will come a time in a few weeks where we look at Link and say, see, there's the big volatility spike on the break of that equilibrium. Other than that, again, there's so many of these coins that are just bearish, bearish, bearish. Here was Matic confirming a daily downtrend heading back towards the lows. But again, the weakest names are the names that are hitting the lowest levels we've seen in months. So Sushi is now at a multiple month new low. XLM has been a big bear ever since this daily uptrend failed. There was news mixed in there. I forget what the news was off the top of my head, but to see that kind of retracement on daily consolidation, on increasing bear volume, that changed everything. From that point forward, it's been complete bear control. And so here we are on XLM, almost back to where we were pre-Ripple headline with its court case. And again, another name at multiple month lows. Atom, looks like we had a big spike there. Curious. Whenever I see that spike, I check the multiple exchanges to see if it's just one exchange or was that seen across all exchanges. And yeah, it was. So that's a good reminder of even if the bears have complete control, Atom bears don't have anything to worry about on any time frame. Weekly lower high set, EMA 12, beautiful guide, last 6 months. But you got to respect stops because like a scenario like this, the fact that Atom can just blink and see a 10%, a 9% hourly candle, do have to protect against that. But it gave it all back. 5-minute stair step, I bet, marked that top. Yep. As soon as that 5-minute stair step breaks bear, bulls did not recover. Big pullback. Use those stair steps on extreme moves that are like that out of nowhere. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, there was one in stocks last week. Netflix had a news headline and it shot up and it was going counter to what the broader market was doing. And its 2-minute stair step marked the high into a massive pullback. Essentially what that shows us is, again, when you get that momentum going, it's a short squeeze to a certain degree. But then once that momentum runs out, on the moves that are strong, you're going to see healthy retracement and continuation. And on the moves that are not strong, as soon as those scales tilt again, that's it. And you can see once that 2-minute stair step broke on Netflix, that was it. So keep an eye on that, on weak names that see those kinds of spikes, which, you know, trap some short-term bears into a mini squeeze. There's still opportunity for bears not in positions if it's just a fluke move out of nowhere. But again, overall, mana fading back towards multiple month lows. We know it's been weak for a long time. So long story short, I mean, if Bitcoin's a 2-week head and shoulders, these alts are going to get trashed. I mean, it's a bleak situation for alts in the sense that best case scenario is Bitcoin keeps going up towards 30,000 and alts get some weekly bounces going again and try and, you know, break weekly lower highs. Worst case scenario is Bitcoin's a 2-week head and shoulders and these alts are looking at, you know, another 10 to 30% of downside if that were to be the case. So it's not a comfortable spot to be in as an altcoin bull, that's for sure. It's a very comfy spot to be in for an altcoin bear. Pretty much an altcoin bear, all you got to worry about is Bitcoin holding support or breaking support with no follow through and heading back towards the bounce high, and altcoins getting some short-term relief because of that. So overall, it's all about the Bitcoin tightening daily range, altcoins, clear bearish correlation. And so bears are going to start headhunting. RNDR has been a lead bull. And so are we going to see a lead bull shift into being weaker? Worth keeping an eye out. If I'm trading altcoin short, I'm watching RNDR to try and form a daily head and shoulders. And until we get a significant shift in sentiment in crypto, altcoin bears are just going to be looking for who's the next bear. Let's check the 12-hour on RNDR. So yeah, you could look for a 12-hour lower high to be the most likely result of this bounce. And we'll see if the bears are able to confirm a 12-hour downtrend. It will likely depend on whether or not Bitcoin breaks support. If Bitcoin breaks 27, RNDR is likely to confirm a 12-hour downtrend. If not, much less likely. Appreciate you all tuning in. Definitely back to a boring space here. Minimal viewers, but you're hitting the like button, and that is all that matters. ETH staking yield is going down, so with high interest rates, no point of holding ETH. That makes sense. We're seeing utilities stocks taking a hit over the past month. Same mindset. Why am I going to sit in a stock that's giving me 3 to 4% of a dividend where I risk the stock going down and losing my principal when I can have risk-free T-bills of 5%. So that's all I've got to say with the quickie check-in, unless you all want to look at any coins. But at this point, it's just basically waiting patiently to see whether or not Bitcoin gets this bear break. Keep it simple. We don't need to look at complex things right now. Bitcoin's either going to hold support and continue tightening up into the end of the week, or we're going to break support and zoom out into weekly consolidation and then watch for the bears to try and follow through on a 2-week head and shoulders. World Mobile. So daily consolidation underway. What can we say about this? We can say that this daily consolidation is telling us things are shifting. Why can we say that? Because the character of this consolidation is different than the consolidation that we've seen at any point on the move up. So what does that tell me? That tells me bears are going to be scouting a lower high from here. Whether it's the daily or the 12-hour time frame, we have now created space where we can bounce 10% and just be looking for a daily lower high. As far as the short term, we are seeing an attempt to hold daily EMA 12. You can see the 4 hours tightening up a bit, trying to form a 4-hour higher low. So burden on bulls to regain a 4-hour uptrend, but bears will be scouting a daily lower high to be the result of the next bounce, hoping for a daily downtrend to confirm into weekly consolidation. As far as the bigger picture, condense it to the 2-week time frame, we can say there's a shift here. We've been rejecting from the 2-week EMA 12 for the last bunch of months, all year, and we finally got over it. And really 16.1 is a key long-term level for me. Because again, just imagine, that's not what I wanted to do. Imagine that you're a bear, a long-term swinging bear. And you're looking at, I mean, we got 2 resistance levels here, but you're looking at the current move. And that 16.1 level is where bulls really start to prove themselves. But you can see that we've topped out between 15 and 16. Essentially this bounce, second bounce, third bounce, fourth bounce, and now it's our 5th bounce, topping out between 15 and 16. So again, just a bear can make a logical statement and say, I'm not worried as long as that keeps holding. And a bull can say, I'm not interested long on a long-term position as long as this resistance keeps rejecting the price. So we have to see the bulls turn that into support. All right. Hope you're all well. Don't forget to do good things. Still patiently waiting for the Bitcoin and crypto bulls to tell us that excitement and euphoria is back, but it's going to be a while. Again, this is tightening up and a lack of excitement until the next period of excitement. So by the time we check back in later this week, we'll have an answer as to whether 27 held or not. And if the answer is not, that's the first win for the bears in the last 2 weeks. Thanks again. See y'all soon.